I've got to yap about two freaks today, and I want to start with the wackiest one. RFK Jr. and a dead raccoon's penis. That is a match made in heaven right there. That is peanut butter and jelly. Vultures don't get as excited about roadkill as RFK Jr. does. This guy loves it. And he brags about having like a freezer full of roadkill that he studies and like feeds to his hawk. I had no idea this guy was a cock scientist. I didn't know that. But in his new book, he just openly talks about the time that he pulled over with his family in the car, mind you, his kids in the car, pulled over in order to cut the penis off of a dead raccoon so he could bring it back and analyze it. As if he's some kind of like archaeologist. Like he's fucking Evie from The Mummy going through like the Book of the Dead trying to research it and learn about it as if he's some kind of scholar for Dick, Animal Dick. It's all documented in his new book, RFK Jr., The Fall and Rise. I don't know when the rise is happening. It hasn't happened yet. He's still in that fall. This dude looks like he's housing every single plague that the world has ever seen in his body right now. Every image and video I see of him, he looks like he's deteriorating further and further and just devolving into a fucking ghoul from Fallout. This is the experience here that he pinned. I was standing in front of my parked car on I-684, cutting the penis out of a road-killed raccoon, thinking about how weird some of my family members have turned out to be. A surreal passage indeed. I like how he's cutting the penis off of a roadkill raccoon in front of his probably horrified children in the car, and he's like, God, my family is so peculiar. They're such odd goofballs. They're so weird. Over there with the fucking hacksaw on the raccoon's cock. If only they could be more like me, just normal and well-adjusted. There we go. And then he holds it up like a trophy. We're celebrating, family. Quick, get some ice out. I gotta put this on ice. I need to study it when we get home. My kids waited patiently in the car, he noted, as he collected the raccoon's genitals so he could study them later. Finally, a man brave enough to go where science fears. He was willing to do the dirty work of snipping a raccoon's dick so he could take it home and really find out what makes it tick. Like, I'm curious, what is there to study with a raccoon penis? Like, what is there to do with that? What was he doing, just over there, like, playing with it? Stretching it like a penny whistle? Write it down. Interesting. These are the notes that will, no doubt, propel our species into the next scientific age. The final frontier of science. Raccoon genitals. Excellent, yes. I just have to wonder what he was doing with it. Like, was he trying to like fashion some kind of necklace out of it, like Ringar out of League of Legends, but instead of bone tooth, it's just raccoon penis? Or like, was he trying to make a stew out of it? Maybe he was like, crafting Saradomin brews out of RuneScape, just dumping the raccoon penis in there with some colloidal silver, just like this disgusting concoction, this witch's brew, this potion. Like, what was he doing with it? Genuinely, like, what was he doing? Because he traveled all the way home with it. So this was like an important thing that he did. And this is apparently something that he made a habit out of doing with dead animals. Dude pillages roadkill like he's Indiana Jones looting a tomb full of treasure. Just imagine hunting with RFK Jr. Dude probably doesn't even bring a gun. He just sits there in the bush waiting for the animal to get hit by like a bus or a train. And then he leaps into action. Yes! Yanks the wiener off of it. According to his daughter, this obsession with dead animals also put a damper on vacations. Apparently there was an incident where a whale carcass washed ashore, and so RFK made a beeline for the beach and decapitated it with a chainsaw and strapped the whale's head to the roof of the family minivan with a bungee cord, intending once again to bring it home to study. Every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car, and it was the rankest thing on the planet. Sounds like hell on earth. He's out here torturing his family on this vacation. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and people on the highway were giving us the finger, but that was just normal day-to-day stuff for us. Sounds healthy. And then, of course, there's the infamous one where he dumped a dead bear cub in Central Park after a botched attempt to skin it. That one's been talked about a lot. I'm pretty sure all of you have already heard of that before, but the whale and raccoon penis, I think, are new revelations here from the bizarre adventures of RFK Jr. and his fascination with dead animals. Bro thinks he's the villain from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like, what is he doing? Is he trying to, like, breathe life back into it, like Frankenstein style? Like, what is he studying? Actually, what is he possibly studying there? Holy shit, the worm in his brain must be giving him some odd directives here, forcing him to get all of this roadkill like treasure so he can squat on it at his house like Smog. That's his gold. All of this roadkill, all this dead animal penis and heads all over the place in his secret villain lair. What a wacko. But don't worry, some highly intellectual people are out there defending this as just a lame media hit piece. The raccoon was already dead. Find a new slant. Typical lamestream media hit piece. Yawn. Raccoon was already dead. Penis was up for grabs. I pull over all the time when I see a dead animal. I make sure to take that cock and balls right off of there. Normal activity. Wasn't alive, so it's not weird. If it was alive and he chased it down in order to yank that puppy off, then I might raise an eyebrow, but this is just lamestream media. Who doesn't cut off a dead animal's cock on the side of the road while their family watches mortified?
Secretary, what did you do with the raccoon's dead penis? Where is it now?
That little giggle he does there, that laugh, that was some demonic sounding shit right there. That sounds like a man who can't wait to get back to that raccoon's penis that's rotting somewhere in his abode. I bet he's got that raccoon penis in like an IV drip or something that he's mainlining or some shit. This is actually the secret to keep me looking so young.
I just got one question. In all seriousness, what is your fascination with roadkill and dead animals? I know you've done a few things, notably with a whale, with a bear, with a raccoon more recently. I just want to know what the fascination is, sir. Anything? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
There goes a hero right there. Not many men are courageous enough to pull over to the side of the road and cut a raccoon's penis off after it's deceased. It wasn't using it anymore, and RFK Jr. had a need for it. And he's a man of action, so he went out there and he claimed that. Same with the whale head. And the bear cub, I suppose. We may never know exactly what he's learned through his research, but one day it may be the key to the future of our species. Or he's using it for some kind of satanic rituals or some shit that he's conducting. Could be either or. There's really no telling with this guy. But anyway, speaking of penis, we gotta talk about a penis that's alive, and one that's on a human being. And from the sound of things, he can't stop using it for evil. I'm talking about Eric Swalwell. This is a congressman who was also running for governor of California, and this week numerous women came forward accusing him of inappropriate things as well as genuinely evil, awful things, including allegations of sexual assault. Initially, Eric denied it, saying that it was all false and that he was going to do everything fighting it tooth and nail. He has since stepped down from the race for governor as well as his position in Congress. He has resigned. And the allegations are only having more and more evidence to support the victims and their claims against him. That includes a video of him with supposedly a prostitute that he was in a hotel room with. On the video, you can see him making out with her, and things start to progress. Now, if you don't know the lore, Eric is married. Eric has been married for a decade. Now, in the video he made denying the very serious allegations, he did make a mention of mistakes in his judgment, as well as mentioning that a lot of it's between him and his wife, and he has to accept the responsibility for mistakes he made, seemingly corroborating the extramarital affairs while denying the sexual assault allegations. All of this is still pretty new, and from what I've read, there is an investigation taking place because he might be facing criminal charges if these allegations are proven true, which he 1000% should. This is vile shit here, and from everything that I've read about it, from what's available, it's not looking like this is just some innocent guy here. There's quite a lot of meat behind these claims. Personally, I think Eric's guilty as a motherfucker here. Based on all of the available evidence here, I don't see any world where he could weasel out, just squeak out some kind of excuse like, oh, it was all just a big misunderstanding. I was just cheating on my wife a lot. Come on, it's not that big of a deal. Just come on, the sexual assault stuff. No. We don't need to get into the weeds of that. Like, based on everything I think that's out there, there is so much evidence, and I think it should 1000% warrant a further investigation into Eric and hopefully some subsequent charges based on whatever they find there. So anyway, I found that to be extremely disgusting. I was reading about that earlier, so I wanted to yap about that as well. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.